Hello again, folks. I wanted to walk you through the syllabus so that I'm assured that you have gotten all of the pertinent information from the syllabus. You'll also be directed to do a treasure hunt, which will engage you with the syllabus. You can download the syllabus by going to the tab on the left-hand side of your page in Blackboard and clicking on syllabus and downloading it. So you can look at it on your own. But I just wanted to walk through some of the highlights of the course. You will see, of course, all of the pertinent information, identification information for the course, the number of the course, and our names, the names of Dr. Hume and Dr. Barrett Dawson here, and our contact information. You have our emails and our telephone numbers. Since Dr. Barrett Dawson will be doing most of the work in terms of engaging you from week to week, I would prefer that you contact her and email her and phone her with questions, but you're certainly welcome always to contact me. The textbooks are Spivey Smith Black's Anatomy of the New Testament. It's just the one textbook. If you were in Old Testament, you probably got Dr. Long's The Witness of Preaching. I don't really care. Any edition will do. You can get the latest edition, but I think you can get the first edition. It's pretty cheap online. We won't use that till the third or fourth week in class. You can grab that when you can. Just order it as you need to. And also the Oxford Study Bible or the HarperCollins Study Bible, any NRSV Bible. We do want to have everyone using the NRSV Bible. You will find additional resources on this link, and there's also the link in the web links of the page. You can find some additional resources. One of the things that I'm thinking about, and I'll go ahead and post a link to this as well, I've asked students, or I've considered the possibility of students using Ministry Matters. They have a paid service, and you can order it as a student for a fairly cheap rate. And it gives you access to really good commentaries and other resources, biblical resources that you can use for your exegesis papers. That might be something to consider. I'm not going to put it as a required text or even a recommended text, but something that you all might want to consider if you don't have ready access to a library. It's a great way to get a little library that you can use, and it's a 6 months, I believe it's a 6 month subscription. It's fairly reasonable. It's about the cost of a textbook that you would pay for that. So I think that's not a bad idea as a student to do. You can read through the course description and the performance objectives. The main requirement, the main thing that we're going to be really focusing on this semester is interpretation. So this is building your skill as biblical interpreters. To that end, you'll have 2 exposition papers, interpretation papers, exegesis papers, that will be due during the class. And you'll also have, at the very end of the class, a mini sermon that is built upon the work that you've done in terms of your exegesis papers. There will be an online exam about 4 weeks into the class. The first few weeks of this class is really going to put you into the historical critical mode. You're going to get a lot of information, and just to keep us honest, you'll have a week to do an online exam. That's not going to be too bad, but it'll just get you comfortable with the terms so that you have the background, and then the next weeks we'll have the interpretation papers due. And at the very end of the class, the mini sermon. Throughout the class, you'll have discussion and weekly assignments. I'm going to combine those this semester. So some weeks you might just have a question that Dr. Dawson places in front of you. Other weeks she might have a little assignment, a little maybe filling out a PowerPoint or doing some kind of exegetical exercise that you'll then upload to the discussion board and respond to one another. But that's all going to be done through the discussion boards. I think we're not going to have additional assignments. I think we're just going to combine everything through the discussion board. So you'll see a link to the discussions on the left-hand side of the page. Each week you need to log in and see what it is you need to do for those discussions. Note that the policy, it's kind of extensive. I know that's kind of crazy, but the basic idea is we want you to post your initial posting, whatever the assignment is, by Wednesday at midnight, and then respond to 2 other students by the end of the week. This class begins at 12:01 on Monday morning each week, and goes until midnight Sunday. So you have an entire week to get in. Now, I know some of you will wake up at 12:01, because I know you go to bed because you're pastors, all of you youth ministers, you all go to bed at dark with the chickens. So probably some of you, go to bed at 7 o'clock and will wake up at 12:01, ready and excited to see the next week's lectures. See my face teaching you about the new. I know you're excited about that, and you're wanting to get jumping in. No, don't worry, don't stress out. I think Wednesday by midnight, if you can get those first discussion posts done, and then everybody has some substance to work with throughout the weekend as they respond to other folks' postings. You can read basically how that looks. Now, so in BASIS, we have 4 kinds of assignments. You'll have little mini tests in the first beginning of the class. You'll have 2 interpretation papers, a sermon at the end of the class, and then throughout the semester, discussion and exercises. Office hours for me in the spring, these are my Meisenheimer office hours. That's when you can probably catch me by phone. And Dr. Dawson has said she's going to be available via phone for questions on Wednesdays and Fridays. Those are probably really good times for you to contact her. And she's thinking about trying to figure out how she can do a Google Hangout, so that might be a possibility where you just click on a link and go in and chat, and you can have more than one person discussing at that time. That might be really cool too. So we're really excited to have her working with us this semester. Now, this is basically the course schedule. The first, as you see, the first 4 weeks is basically getting historical information, background, biblical exegesis, all of that, gaining familiarity with the course and the material that you need to do exegesis. The first week of the class really is you getting familiarity with the online format. So that's really what I'm looking for you to download the syllabus, watch these videos, and do the work that you need to do for the treasure hunt. And we're going to have you post a little video if you can. Make a video and post it up to YouTube, and introduce yourself to the other folks in the course, and then respond to one another. That way you all get to know one another. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. And then throughout the rest of the week, the 3 weeks, you'll be doing Introduction to the New Testament. The second portion of the class is basically looking at the Gospels. So we'll cover the Gospel of Mark in the week 5, Matthew week 6, Luke week 7, and John week 8. We'll finish up with all the Gospels before spring break. Now notice, I have divided the interpretation papers into 3 sets, and because this is such a large class, I think it's best to have them coming in at different times. So Dr. Dawson will be setting out a sign-up sheet, probably on discussion board in the first weeks or so, and asking you to choose which set. So if you choose to do set A, you will do the discussion paper on Matthew, which will be due on February 21st. You see that? And that will be your first interpretation paper for set A. Your second interpretation for set A comes in April 3rd, and that is for 1 Thessalonian. So you're going to want to look through and see whether you want to do set A, set B, or set C. Now, at the end of the syllabus, I have a guideline for how to write exegesis papers, plus the description of the assignments for set A, set B, and set C. Now, I want you to be following along, because look, on some of these, for example, when you get to Matthew, I'm going to want everyone doing this assignment at home. And then for those who are going to write the paper, I've got some discussion prompts to sort of get you thinking, right? So if you choose set A, that means you're going to be doing Matthew and 1 Thessalonians. If you choose set B, you'll be doing Luke and 1 Corinthians 7. If you're going to be doing set C, you're going to do John 9 and some of the texts from the Deuteropaulines. So, and in 1 Peter. So the household codes. So you'll be looking at those, and those will be your assignments. And so look through them and see what you're interested in doing. And I really want you to restrict it to the focus on the passage that is given to you, Matthew 5, 21 through 48, or whatever. So that will be what you'll be doing, and those will be coming due at the deadlines, at the dates, included in the syllabus, okay? And you'll also see those, I believe, included in the online portion of the class. You'll see where you'll have a little notice that those will do, and you'll be able to turn them in through Turn It In. Now, everyone will turn in through, you won't have different prompts, you'll just have papers 1, round 1, and whether you're set A, set B, or set C, you just turn it in through that and we'll grade it and get it back to you. This is the best for us in terms of trying to get back your papers to you as quickly as we possibly can, hopefully within 2 weeks. So that's your information about the class. You'll notice at the very end of the class we have a sermon presentation on May 9th, and that's a Monday. Those of you who can and want to are welcome to come in on that date and present your sermons. We'll just set up a time for you to do that. Those of you who are true distance learners or who can't come in or whose schedule doesn't permit, we'll find a way for you to post your sermons online and upload them. So I think that's a pretty good review of the syllabus. Of course, if you have questions, you can email us and let us know. Email me or email Dr. Dawson, and we'll help you out. But I think this should give you a bit of understanding of what I'm expecting in the class and in terms of the syllabus.